You guys, today, the more things change, the more things stay the same. Team USA for the 2024 Olympics made a huge mistake. They left Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team. If you want to take it one step further, they left Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese off the Olympic team. One, Caitlin Clark from a pure skill standpoint deserved to be there. Two, Caitlin Clark from a sure notoriety, popularity standpoint, growing the game.
The unthinkable happened. Team USA made a decision so egregious, so unbelievably tone-deaf, it effectively pushed their biggest star to the sidelines. Caitlin Clark, the name on everyone's lips, was gone from the 2024 Olympic roster, a move that sent shockwaves through the entire sport. This wasn't just a benching, it was a deliberate erasure, a blatant felicence to acknowledge the very force growing women's basketball globally. The ripple effect? A question now hangs heavy. Did this monumental disrespect force her hand?
Names that we all know. In fact, the error in 2024 was such a mistake, they replaced said person and input Sue Bird to start making the decisions around Team USA. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Wishing the best to you and yours. Enjoy it. Have a feast. Spend time with your family. The parade. So on and so forth. Hopefully there's some Harry Potter movies on. I know Harry Potter's is more of a Christmas thing. I know. We're not going to argue about it. But hopefully there's some Harry Potter.
The 2024 Paris Olympics team announcement delivered the first major blow. Despite her undeniable skill and unprecedented popularity, Caitlin Clark, alongside Angel Reese, was controversially left off the roster. This wasn't a minor oversight, it was a glaring misstep that baffled fans and experts alike, begging the question of whether USA Basketball truly understood the gravity of the moment. The decision felt less like a strategic play and more like a willful blind spot, setting the stage for an escalating narrative of neglect.
Attention to get them locked in. If you're not a WNBA fan per se, you see this roster, you see Kelsey Plum, and you keep scrolling. And I'm not even sure people know that that's Kelsey Plum's name, but she is a familiar face. They see this roster, they say, oh, this is cool, and then they keep moving on about their day. There's no Caitlin Clark on this roster. Clear misstep. There's no Page on this graphic, excuse me. Clear misstep. No Clark on this graphic, no Page on this graphic. Clear missteps. If it was up to me, I'm putting Caitlin on there. I'm putting Angel on there. I'm putting Page on there. And I'm
From a pure skill standpoint, her place on the Olympic team was undeniably justified, but more critically, from a notoriety and game-growing perspective, her inclusion was non-negotiable if the true goal was to expand women's basketball to new heights. Team USA chose to ignore the tidal wave of new fans she was bringing, prioritizing an old guard mentality over a future-forward vision. It was a choice that baffled observers, signaling a deep disconnect between the organization and the sport's burgeoning mainstream appeal.
But instead, they put Kalia Copper, whose wig falls off mid-game, gets laughed off the court, and then Alyssa Thomas has that fan laughing at her, escorted out by security. We have Jackie Young. No shade to Jackie Young, but folks, I can walk up to 150,000 people in the streets of New York City and ask them if you know who this woman is. No disrespect, Jackie Young. All 150,000 of those people would say, yeah, I got no idea. I don't even know who any of these people are. That person looks familiar, but I really don't know her name. What's going on, Team USA? Why are you so scared?
Fast forward to the 2026 World Cup training camp roster, and a stark contrast in strategy emerged. Suddenly, Team USA seemed to learn from their prior blunder, finally embracing the young guns. Caitlin Clark now appears on that roster, alongside Paige Buckers, Angel Reese, Cam Brink, and Aaliyah Boston, names casual fans immediately recognize. This belated shift confirmed what many already knew. The 2024 decision was a colossal mistake, finally acknowledged by a change in approach, albeit too late for Paris.
Your most popular asset to your advantage. Why are you so scared to ruffle feathers of players on this roster by putting Caitlin Clark? Look at this roster. Let's actually just think and look at this roster. Who on this team would actually have an issue with Caitlin Clark being on this poster? The only person would probably be Kalia Copper, to be fair. That's the only person that would say, yeah, she doesn't deserve to be on this roster, just out of pure old guard, jealousy, spite, hate narrative. It's clear as day that the people that...
But even with her inclusion on the roster for 2026, the shocking disrespect continued. USA Basketball, despite having Clark on their team sheet, inexplicably refused to promote her prominently. Their marketing strategy, or woeful lack thereof, became the next chapter in this unfolding saga of baffling decisions. It wasn't enough to just add her name, they actively chose to bury her, missing a golden opportunity to capitalize on her unprecedented star power for global exposure.
That's the only person that would say, yeah, she doesn't deserve to be on this roster, just out of pure old guard, jealousy, spite, hate narrative. It's clear as day that the people that made the decisions to put out this poster is somebody that is still pushing back against the Caitlin Clark is the reason why we're all here narrative. Fact. Statement. Whoever designed this poster is part of the Think Group, the thought program that is pushing back.
The glaring omission was most evident in the official national team training camp graphic. This poster, explicitly designed to showcase their best marketing assets, conspicuously left out Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, and Angel Reese from its prominent visuals. Instead, it featured lesser-known players, a move that instantly signaled a deeper agenda than mere oversight. It was a clear, calculated snub that screamed volumes about internal resistance and misguided priorities.
You ever watch those cartoons? You have like a waiter just carrying all these pots and pans at one time, and then out of nowhere they just slip, and then all the pots and pans fall all over the floor. They got to go back, they got to remake the food. This is kind of like what Team USA is doing with this basketball team in advertising and marketing and promoting. They have all this cash on a pan. They have all this cash that they're holding right in front of them, and they're slipping, holding on to Caitlin Clark, and then every move that they make, every misstep that they do, they're just dropping the cash all over the floor. They got to go back, These people are fools, man. There's no other way to...
Imagine walking the bustling streets of New York City, asking 150,000 people if they recognize the faces prominently displayed on that promotional poster. The overwhelming answer, tragically, would be absolutely no idea. Featuring players like Kalia Copper and Jackie Young, with no disrespect to their talent, instead of the sport's biggest names, was an unmitigated marketing disaster. It highlighted an organization utterly out of touch with public appeal and what genuinely captivates new audiences.
NBA has dropped the ball. Indiana Fever have dropped the ball. Nike has dropped the ball. Damn near the only ones that haven't been Wilson and the women's professional LPGA, not WPGA. Don't worry, WNBA media coaches, these players will get a front row seat when they see the foreign teams' fans seek their autograph picture like they're at a Michael Jackson concert. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate all the support. Happy Thanksgiving. See you next time. And as always, take it easy.
Why the deliberate sidelining even when Clark was on the team? The theory quickly emerged. Team USA was scared to ruffle feathers within the existing player pool. The fear of upsetting old guard players by elevating Clark to her rightful marketing prominence seemed to outweigh the strategic imperative of growing the game. This internal politicking, potentially driven by jealousy or spite, appears to have dictated monumental marketing decisions to the severe detriment of the entire sport's potential. This wasn't accidental, it was a coordinated effort. It became painfully clear that whoever designed this poster, whoever made these critical marketing decisions, was part of a think group actively pushing back against the undeniable narrative that Caitlin Clark is the paramount reason women's basketball is experiencing its current boom. This internal resistance suggests a powerful faction within USA Basketball is deliberately attempting to diminish her impact, a move that defies all logic and business sense. Renowned sports author Christine Brennan, who has covered the Olympics for over 40 years, didn't mince words. She publicly stated that USA Basketball utterly failed to grow women's basketball at the 2024 Olympics. And NGB's mission is not just to win medals, but fundamentally to expand its sport by benching Clark and then burying her in promotional materials. They failed spectacularly on the latter, squandering an unparalleled opportunity for unprecedented expansion and visibility. This situation was vividly likened to a waiter carrying a mountain of pots and pans only to slip and drop them all. Team USA had a massive pile of cash in the form of Caitlin Clark's unparalleled marketability right in front of them, begging to be used. Yet, with every misstep, every decision to sideline or obscure her, they metaphorically dropped that cash, watching precious marketing opportunities scatter uselessly across the floor. They were fools, squandering a generational asset with bewildering incompetence. Simply seeing Caitlin Clark's face front and center on that crucial poster would have immediately piqued widespread public curiosity. People would have paused thinking, oh, Caitlin Clark's back playing basketball. Let me take a look. Instead, her name was buried 6th down an alphabetical list, effectively invisible to casual observers. The decision actively ensured that potential new fans would scroll past, completely missing the biggest, most impactful draw in the entire sport. Some attempted to argue that perhaps they were using players who had already been on the team for the graphic as an excuse. But this defense holds absolutely no water. In an age of advanced technology, Photoshop's a hell of a drug. They could easily have put Clark in new threads, or used existing images from her past appearances with the Phoebe team. The tools exist. The will to use them for their biggest star clearly did not, revealing a deeper, troubling intention behind the omission. This wasn't an isolated incident. The failure to promote and leverage Caitlin Clark appears to be a systemic issue, extending far beyond just USA Basketball's front office. The WNBA itself has been accused of dropping the ball. The Indiana Fever, her own team, has dropped the ball. Even Nike, a powerhouse in sports marketing, has seemingly missed critical opportunities. It's a collective reluctance across multiple organizations to fully embrace their golden goose, defying all logic. In this frustrating sea of missed opportunities and organizational blunders, only a few entities seem to truly grasp her monumental impact. Wilson, the basketball manufacturer, and surprisingly, the LPGA Women's Professional Golf Association were cited as examples of organizations successfully leveraging prominent female athletes. It's a damning indictment when a golf association demonstrates more foresight in promoting women's sports than the very basketball leagues and national teams themselves. The underlying current of old guard jealousy, spite, hate narrative is a deeply disturbing revelation. The idea that established players or influential figures within the sport are actively resisting Clark's meteoric rise for personal reasons speaks to a deep-seated insecurity and short-sightedness. This internal friction, if allowed to continue dictating promotional strategies, will undoubtedly stifle the sport's growth and alienate its burgeoning, passionate fan base, creating a destructive cycle. Clark herself has remained publicly gracious amidst these bewildering decisions, maintaining her professional composure, but her silence, while admirable, paradoxically speaks volumes about the situation. When an organization repeatedly undervalues its most impactful asset, it risks more than just lost revenue and viewership. It risks alienating the player herself and her devoted fan base, creating an environment where future participation in such mismanaged initiatives might become untenable or deeply unappealing. What kind of actual vision does USA Basketball truly hold for the future of women's basketball? Is it simply to maintain the existing status quo, or is it genuinely committed to innovate and dramatically expand the sport's reach? Their baffling actions surrounding Caitlin Clark strongly suggest a profound lack of forward thinking, a stubborn adherence to outdated methodologies that actively sabotage their own potential for unprecedented global success. This isn't just about one player, it's about the entire direction of the sport. The backlash from fans, media, and even other sports professionals has been swift, severe, and unwavering. The public intrinsically understands the immense value of a generational phenomenon like Clark, and they are not afraid to loudly call out the hypocrisy and sheer incompetence. This continuing story, as Christine Brennan astutely noted, highlights an organization seemingly determined to sabotage its own success, creating an ongoing saga of egregious missed opportunities and self-inflicted wounds that defy explanation. So, did Caitlin Clark officially quit Team USA? Not in the traditional sense, perhaps, with a formal announcement, but when an organization repeatedly benches you from crucial events, pointedly refuses to promote you, and actively pushes back against your undeniable game-changing impact, they are effectively forcing you out of the prominent spotlight they should be amplifying. The unbelievable decision to bench her wasn't just a roster choice, it was a clear, unspoken message, making a meaningful, prominent role in Team USA's public face virtually impossible, tantamount to a quiet, forced departure from the high-profile visibility she had undeniably earned.